So people have been asking about balance and putting together videos. So since it's been a while since we've done a tutorial, thought it'd be a good topic. Balance can be broken down into two characteristics. Finding your center of gravity and then your strength of your feet and your ankle and your calf. So all the little tiny muscles and tendons and strengthening them, because most people are weak. We wear shoes, we wear sneakers with a thick sole on them. So it compromises our natural balance. The best thing to do for balance training, if you have the option, is one thing I'll do is just walk through the woods on dead trees. It's just being on a balance pole. Because what that's doing is it's forcing you to have a center of balance, but it's also teaching your ankles to stabilize. In lieu of that though, there are a couple things you can do for starting position. So the first thing is we're going to work on the center of gravity. It works the leg muscles a little bit, but for most of it, just finding your center so you don't overcompensate by leaning. So what you're going to do is level one is you stand with your feet forward and you put one foot up neutral. It doesn't have to be high. Right? And you're going to start for 10 seconds at each of these directions. Eventually you want to work your way up to 30 seconds. Now if you look, I have a very slight bend to my knee because the trick to balance is to learn to sink into the floor. Right? So kind of like rooting yourself like a tree. Right? So I'm here, it's neutral, then I do for however much time I do, then leg forward for how much time, again, height doesn't matter, then directly to the side. Now this is where people get in trouble, is they start leaning. Don't do that. Try to keep your body upright. That'll strengthen things a little bit more, and also, again, it's your center of gravity. Because when people kick, what they tend to do, because they don't have a lot of strength up here, is they will lean. All right? And again, my head is very heavy. My upper body is very heavy. So when I lean, I'm throwing a lot of my weight away from my center. All right? So I want to try to mitigate that. The only time I ever lean over for a kick is when I'm either dodging a punch or I'm trying to kick like straight up. All right? The rest of the time, even when I kick to the head high, all right, there's not a huge lean like this. Yeah? So again, time, neutral, front, side. If you want to practice your foot positions, now's a good time to do it. And then behind. Okay, each for you mouse, and then I set my foot down, and then I do the same thing on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm holding, again, I want to work up to 30 seconds. If you find that you can do more on one side than the other, don't increase it. Right? Only go as high as your worst direction. So if this you can do 30, but this you can only do 10, only do 10 because you don't want to overdevelop one side or the other. So level 2 of this drill is to train your side kick and round kick, is you take the foot that's going to be on the ground and you point it away. All right? Now the first reaction is we naturally want to square up with our feet. So just holding neutral is going to be a muscle burn through here because we're trying to prevent our body from rotating in. So the foot one way, the chest to the front, and I'm going to hold that. Again, neutral, front, side, and back, and then down. All right? You can work your foot positions. As you get better, you can raise the height a little bit. Because of knee strain, you're not, I can get high there, but this is really tough to do. So, again, we're just trying to find our center of balance, not really pushing the kick. That's sort of a different drill entirely. And again, you do the other side. So, foot points away, chest square to the wall, neutral, front, side, back, up to 30 seconds. That is level 1 and 2 for finding your center of gravity. Okay. Level 3, which no one's gotten up to this point, is full-on chambers. It's the same concept as before, except now you're in full chambers and you're pivoting on this foot. So when I go to side kick, so it's front, pivot side, on the mats it's difficult, all right? Pivot for back kick up here, all right? And then pivot back to round kick. See, I over lean, so right here. And that's to work your balance. So that one's tough because you really got to have a good center of gravity. And then there's another step, but I'm not going to worry about it because that ties into kicking. All right, so those are your 3 levels for that. Start with 1 when you get 30 seconds, go to 2 when you get 30 seconds, then play with level 3. So that's for center of gravity. For strength, now that stuff will have strength a little bit as well. For strength is you're just going to stand with your leg neutral. And what you're going to do is you're going to do ground touches. So I reach down and I touch with both hands and I come up. That's overloading the ankle and the calf. Okay, it's really making them work hard. And I want to work up to 5 that way. So what people will do though, is they'll like here, come up here. No, you gotta come all the way back up. So if I'm right here, all right, I go down. Again, this should be easy, or at least not, if you find yourself catching, don't do a lot of reps until you can calmly go down, and again, keeping the leg at neutral. I don't want to counterbalance with it. This is all about developing strength, so this knee's going to stay in pretty much as tight as I can manage it. Down, I come all the way up to full before I go for another rep. And we go front, we go side. All right, again, this is the mat, so it's a little tricky. Again, I do however many reps I'm doing, I keep it consistent, the same as time. I go the opposite side. People tend to, especially on this one, kind of bend forward and bring the hand forward, kind of like this. Really try to come sideways as much as you can. Right? Back, if you could do a full pistol, which is basically a one-legged squat, that's awesome, but for the sake of this, all we're kind of doing is just leaning back a little bit and up. Right? Go as much as you can comfortably. And you work your reps up there, other foot. Level 2, same concept as the balance. I'm going to turn my foot out, all right? Stay square. This one, be careful of anything because you're twisted at a little bit of a funny angle. You might feel your knees start to act up. If you are, back off, have me look at the technique to make sure you're keeping everything in line. All right, so again, foot neutral. The front one is where it hurts, so we're going to actually skip that one for a second. So the first direction is over the direction of the toes and back. Okay, I do my 3. When I go front, I'm actually taking the opposite hand. So if right foot is down, left hand is going to touch, and I'm turning my chest and then turning it back. All right? So versus just a straight trying to reach this way, because I find it really does torque the knee. So this, you're still getting that stability up to the leg, and then back, kind of the same thing. People tend to go this way. Make sure you're reaching back and up. And again, you see how my foot's kicking out? So I want to try to keep it in tight. All right? And kind of like the same thing. If you can go back this way, again, you look, my hand is in alignment with my heel. It's not up here, because this is still doing the front direction. All right? I'm trying to get this swing up. Go ahead. That's level 2. And then, you know, there really isn't a ton of strength for in the same vein. The next step up from all of this, balance or strength training, is to do the same thing, but stand on a brick or a block of wood with your heel hanging off. So if I take a plate weight here, you know, it doesn't have to be something tall. All right? Just standing on that, and this is a little round, makes it much harder. I'm not standing flat. I mean, you could start this way, but then as you get more comfortable, you work until at least half your foot is hanging off. All right? And you just work it, because when you're trying to do those exercises and those drills, but you've also got this stability stuff going on. So a brick is a wonderful thing, a block of wood. You're basically trying to overstress your sense of balance, your muscles. So you can build up. I mean, one of the best things Sensei Penny did, he'd go at Colgate and get on the balance beam. And he'd do all his stances and his kicks on the balance beam. Right, I've done that on a 2x4. You don't even need a full balance beam. A little higher. You can't cheat as easily if it's higher up, but just stand on 2x4, working this. You know, my sliding and jumping in. All right? My rear leg kick. All right? Even my step spinning back kick, where I got to pivot. All right? any of that type of stuff on an object to balance on will help you. There's one more level, but again, that ties into kicking. And you gotta have the leg strength to do high kicks. So for now, follow this pattern, start all level 1, all level 2, you know, kind of the same thing, keeping the directions. If you're good center of gravity, but you're struggling with strength, don't go to level 2 center of gravity and stay at level 1 strength. Keep it even all the way through. And yeah, have fun with it. Oh, one quick thing, please do this outside. Do this somewhere where there isn't furniture or edges to catch. Don't do it on a sidewalk, because you are gonna fall and stumble, and I don't want people getting hurt. So, you know, yeah, on the mats. And then as far as volume, I recommend, these are low intensity. I mean, they hurt. They're a good muscle workout, but it's not like lifting heavy weights. You can do this every day. Right? Just do a set every day to build it up, because we're trying to actually make your body think, I guess is the easiest way to put it. So repetition at high volume at low intensity is what you kind of prescribe for those things versus low rep, high intensity. So anyway, have fun with it.